What we're going to do today is we're going to actually do show and tell of our favorite tools or databases or websites. What has been helpful to you in shortcutting your outcomes, helping you get something done better, faster?
The first one that I wanted to show is my notebook. So here's something that makes it cool. So this pen has a little camera in it, and these pages have little dots on them. And so what it does is it actually records what you write, and then basically it saves all your notes to the cloud. So you can write longhand like I do all the time, and then your notes are actually backed up for you, so you don't have to worry about losing your book. And the other thing that's cool is that you can actually turn it into like text. So it's not just the image. If you have nice enough writing, which I don't always have, sort of swipe across and then it basically turns it into text. So this is my favorite magazine. This is Lapham's Quarterly. I have these all around my house. I basically could reach 2 issues as I was just sitting here. So it's a compendium of historical excerpts from different authors around a specific theme. So this is about technology, but you have writing from throughout history about technology. And so the reason I love it is because it gives you such great perspective on the time that we're living in now. You're reading things from ancient Greece, you're reading things from the Renaissance, you're reading things from ancient Chinese wisdom, for example. And it's so amazing to see the themes that come up in everyday life reflected throughout history. I use it often when I'm doing keynotes because it lets you link what you're talking about to something fundamentally true about humanity. And those keynotes have been extremely well received.
So the product I love is called Demoflow. So what you're seeing here is a live screen, right? And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to click next, and now I'm in my deck. So I'm able to go through my deck and share information. This is obviously for live demos. This is a live demo I had this morning. And so I'm talking to them, and then I jump in and say, okay, the first item on the agenda is Ian, and this is now a live website, right? So all in the same view, I'm able to quickly, without having to change anything, and then I can go right back to my pitch deck. Obviously, they're here to see my demo of pref cards. That's what they're here for. But not everything is super easy to demo live. I can easily navigate through slides, images, and then jump right back into my demo. And it's been incredibly useful for me to be able to jump between live demo of my app and other visuals that are important to help explain features and benefits, as well as being able to just jump into my presentation of trying to teach them something in the presentation and say, okay, so now what we're going to talk about is increased surgeon satisfaction, and just have something to give it a little bit of context.
So we use it in a lot of different ways. There's just so many features built into it. We interact with the clients that opt in. We interact with them over their Slacks, even across Slack and across Teams. So we can basically talk to any client and direct message them, give them support. We leverage what are basically reaction emojis. So if somebody sees somebody needs help, my coordinator will put on a little megaphone, and then it'll pop a message or react in any way that you like. So there's a lot of different workflows you can build in if you're not aware of that. So you can always come in here, tools. We haven't used it as much as we should at the moment, but it's a feature that they're evolving. So we just have like all hands meeting reminders that, pop into a channel and various other things. We also use it to ingest the latest IT news. So we have RSS feeds that go into our news channel. Then we also have Slack, which is a chat tool that feeds in from our website that'll automatically pop open a channel in our Slack if somebody comes on the website and wants to chat about anything, so we can give them live chat support as well. Those are just some of the few features we're using from it.
So how many of you guys use LinkedIn Sales Navigator? In general, it's a really, really powerful tool. It makes LinkedIn about 10 times more valuable. But one tool that I use all the time is Save Searches. And so I'll create kind of a search for certain types of contacts that I want to reach out to regularly. And then it will automatically update that. I can set reminders like daily, weekly, monthly summaries of all the new people added to that search. And I can see some kind of trending things like, were they mentioned in the news? Did they change their job recently? And do we have shared experiences? So did we work at a common company? And then did they post recently? And so my assistant just watches my saved searches. And anytime someone's in the news or has a new job or posted on LinkedIn, she knows to go engage with them. If they're on one of my saved searches, we just focus those efforts on people that we really want to connect with.
I'll just say two things that are currently making my life a little bit easier. Cortana, I've been appreciating kind of the daily reminders or just kind of a daily scorecard or something like that. And then if I have open time on my calendar, then it just kind of reminds me, like, do you want to add focus time? Or it just naturally built into Outlook already. So it's allowed me to kind of add in focus time or something that I'm not good at. My VA has been rolling for a couple weeks now, and she's been freaking awesome. We've never had sales and marketing before, and so we were working on creating a one-pager. I asked her to kind of start working on it, sent her some content and some other stuff. She put together not just this example, but multiple versions for me to review. The turnaround on this was like a day. And all of a sudden, after 80 years, we have our first draft of a one-pager on top of her driving me up the ladder of influencers on LinkedIn, Twitter, etc.
But if anyone loves to convert a PDF into almost any format, this is the site you want. It's called I Love PDF. You can pretty much do 98% of it for free. But some of the key components are, if you've ever noticed, you get a PDF and it says there's a password on it, no one knows the password, you can just drop it straight here and it'll basically unlock it for you. It's kind of scary at the same time, the fact that you can do that. And then if you've ever had a PDF that's corrupted and you can't open it, repair PDF, you drop it straight in, you repair it, you're off to the races, you're good to go. Sometimes you want to send something to someone, the PDF is 70 pages, but you only need 3 pages. You can split it. You can break it down by page number, send them what they want, you're off to the races again. Merging a PDF, converting it from HTML to PDF, all of these different tools that are free.
There's so many great things, but I'm going to start with Answer the Public. I go in every couple days and I type in the full word of my title and see what different people are searching. And this actually helps me think about what kind of things I can write in blog posts and what kind of words I can use in SEO to get people to find us. And you get 3 free ones a day. I've also been using Visual Capitalist. I've got a couple really great data points from visuals with data points on social media and social media sharing from this site. They've got really great visuals on data for so many things, and you can download and purchase them. So if you're doing a deck or a pitch and you want some really targeted images, let's say, and you search, and they've got some beautiful print books too. So just some really great visuals that show some incredible data points, and also the data itself. There's some incredible intelligence in here as it relates to the data that you're looking for, and the ability to actually download and use some of these slides is really great. And I use Masterclass a lot. I like that they have the little snapshots. I can go in and watch a 5-minute class on design or on storytelling or on business. They have the modules out, and so you can pick what you're going to use. And so when I need motivation, especially working alone, we're all at home right now, needing somebody that you can go and get inspired by really quickly so that you can create yourself. I pop in there a lot and look for things.
I would say one piece of tech that it just greatly enhances my life is OneNote. So like, this is just a conversation I had about a year ago. My son was talking to me about putting some security cameras at our house. And these are just some doodles. That's a picture of my house from, space. Where would I put cameras? Redesigned this a few times, but we keep coming back to this. We just keep, changing things and learning. It's not a decision I'm ready to make, but I keep circling it and I'll get closer. What I love about OneNote is I can throw everything in here. Here's a little factoid. If you pick up a project and put it down and pick it up and put it down, meaning you return to it multiple times, you can exhaust hundreds of percentages of time necessary to complete tasks. So when you can pick up a project, put it to bed, kill it, that's the ultimate in efficiency. But many projects, especially if you're a founder, have long life to them. So you can't just pick them up and put them down. You have to come back to them. This is Rocketbook, and it has this little code. So if I take a picture with my phone, whatever's on this page is dropped right into OneNote. I don't have to do anything, and then I can log it where it belongs inside OneNote. This is a reusable page. It comes with a little cloth that you get a little water on it and wipe the page off. I mean, it takes 2 seconds. I love it because it syncs with OneNote and I don't have to do anything. And it's, you know, I've got every color to doodle in, but these two things, OneNote and capturing notes longhand, which is my preference because I got to doodle and draw pictures. Man, it's just helped me. You suddenly see things differently and you can discriminate, especially if I'm learning something new.
Hunter.io, you can use it for free, but you can pay for it. Has some of the functionality of like a HubSpot, but with more data included. So you can search a company. The best way that I've used this tool is when I find the person on LinkedIn, but I don't have their email address, I come here and I can get the email address for their company. So just as an example, I'm just gonna go in and do building materials. So I've gone through over here in filters, gone through and looked at this. So this is some general info on companies with 11 to 50 employees doing around 1 to 5 million a year. And they sell building materials. That's the category. So I selected it that way. I can go into like Elite Roofing and click find. Now it's going to give me all these contacts. So this is the managing partner. I've got their email address. I've got multiple phone numbers. And most of these phone numbers are like cell phone numbers, home phone numbers.
This is the first one, Rev. It's a transcripting service. It is real people. You can do automated ones too, but because I do a lot of podcasts, for some of them, I want to do a transcript. So you just submit the MP3, the AIF or whatever file, and they have someone transcript and they get back to you usually, sometimes within a couple hours. So here's the most recent one. It's really good, and it's $1.25 for audio minute. So that's rev.com. It's a plugin for WordPress for any WordPress fanatics. And it's Yoast. And this is like the simplest little cheat, but what it's going to do is look through the entire piece. This is the one I wrote yesterday, by the way. I was in the Clubhouse, I listened to someone's question, this was their question, and I came back and wrote this piece. What is it? It's a 1,800 word piece, and I told Yoast I want to rank for the term how to leverage a press hit, because that's literally the question they asked. And so it'll go through here and say, outbound links, good. You did well there. Internal links, good. Key phrase and introduction, good. Distribution, it helps you make sure that it's tweaked for, and then it'll let you do the meta description. That's what Google sees, that little box you see when you search in Google. That's where that's pulling from. Adjusting the slug, the SEO title, and then you can even go into the social cards and decide what image is going to be showed on Facebook, what image is going to be shared on Twitter, and adjust the title and the description for each one. It's all customized. So that's Yoast. It's a freaking amazing time saver. The next one is, I get a ton of pitches because I used to write a lot in a bunch of publications. So this is just Gsuite. That's all it is. But because I get so many terrible pitches and I want to be really nice, I just go in here, I go up to templates and auto PR reply. I go, hi, Stephanie. Thanks for the idea. I respect the time. It's not a good fit, blah, blah, blah. I send, I delete her email, and that's it. So if you get a lot of forms that you have to reply to, that's a good fit. If you're a Gsuite subscriber, it should be in there automatically. You might have to turn it on or something.
So it's an email service. Literally, you pick Gmail or you pick Superhuman, but Superhuman is like Gmail, just a million times better. $30 a month. Literally, you use your keyboard instead of using your mouse. I go through my email. I'm at inbox 0 every single night. And it doesn't take me long to file things and respond to things and copy messages and paste into notes. It's just incredible. So if you have a budget for $30 a month, I think we should all be on Superhuman. And you can just think of me every time you use it and think that you're a rock star using your email. I only ever use OneNote on my iPad. You can categorize, I'm also visual, but I've got these folders. I don't know if you can see this, but I go into my folders, and then if I'm going to create a new note, so I have one for Founders for Good, I literally have a blank page. So Joe, let's pretend you're sharing something on your screen and I don't want to forget it. I literally click into here. I'm going to take a picture of you guys right now just so that you can see this. So I have a picture of you or whatever's on my screen. I can play with this picture. I can edit it. I can draw all over it. I could take a video of you and store it. I've garbaged all of my notebooks. It's changed my world and it's kept me organized. So every one of my calls, there's a folder for it. And so if I ever want to reference a call or prepare for a conversation, it's all just with my own writing and my own visual form. It works great.
If you guys aren't all using Grammarly to just review your writing every single day, you need to use it. It's the best feature ever because it doesn't just do spell check. It actually helps with your writing, gives you suggestions. And they have an iPhone app. It can embed right into Word or Google Docs. So if you're not using Grammarly, you need to use it. It's another one. It's really simple. coachingtoolscompany.com, but they have tons and tons of just employee worksheets. Like you can go to free resources and you can even get like business admin forms, a client info sheet or voucher templates or an intake template, all kinds of things. I love using it for actual employee conversations, for individual one-on-ones with employees or individual coaching. There's so many different things, so like career coaching. I can narrow it down and it'll give me ideas, help them with their 3-month vision or whatever you're working on with team members. It's just really helpful because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can get some kind of templates to get you started on whatever you would need to work on with the team member, and then just customize it from there for your organization.
My wife is from Africa and I help her with various presentations on economic development. With this 137 data providers, just about anything you want. So you want to do a quick presentation, just a couple of links, and then you can basically create a custom visual presentation with any kind of data. Do a quick GDP per capita, that's something I do a lot. And it's just really cool and simple to say what's going on with Afghanistan. Not too good. So anybody who wants to do data visualization with either large major data sets and or data visualization using Gapminder, they're really fun, quick, easy tools to use.
What I'm going to talk about today is a productivity app called TickTick. So I've tested out tons of productivity apps. I mean, I'm a pen and paper guy as well, just because I can't maintain them. That's the biggest problem, is that whenever I lay out these tasks and try to do all this project management stuff, the maintainability, I end up not being able to stick up with it, and it just kind of gets in the way. Plus, entering the actual data often takes more time for me. But I recently started using this app, and it's hands down my favorite app that I've ever used for productivity for a couple of different reasons. So you can come in and it has the general, inbox features. So if I wanted to put in like a demo task, call Paul later, you can go in and just brain dump, which I do a lot. It has the ability to prioritize, which is good. So the one reason I do like it, which separates it from everything else and why I've decided to actually start using it, and it's been great. You can make lists, which allow you to color code stuff, but is this calendar integration feature, which just syncs up to any calendar you subscribe to. And so I'm a really visual person, and being able to see my tasks with my actual scheduled events for the day, and also being able to color code them is important for me. But what I like is this feature right here that I haven't seen anyone else use or have, and it's the ability to come in and take these tasks and just lay out my week. And so if I set up a project for things that I have to do during the week, I can easily roll tasks over the next day. I just made a new demo task, right? So call Paul later. I can drag and drop that on my calendar, and that's set up for my day tomorrow. And the drag and drop functionality is why I like it the most. It's easy to just move tasks over and be flexible and visually see everything. So you also can create lists with a Kanban view, which is also good for project management. And it just has all the features that I would want, but it's not overkill. Another thing that I use is called Notion, kind of like OneNote. I like Notion because you can kind of build real-time websites, and people are actually doing this It's a really advanced note-taking app. I've even used this for like prospecting. When people have additional questions, I send pages like this that I can build in real time on how to set up your camera for a live stream. And you can embed videos right in here. You can also embed Loom. I recently started using Simon Says last week. It's an AI-based transcriber, and it works great. So I've tested out a couple of them. This is what a lot of the big YouTube stars use. It's pretty cheap, honestly. I think it's like 25 bucks a month or something for a certain amount of hours, but it kind of does everything in real time. It's pretty quick. Lemlist allows you to send one-on-one based emails. So you're not mass blasting emails out, which would be not GDRP compliant, but you can send personalized emails very fast and efficiently based on templates. So I can take the CSV file, import it into Lemlist, and then send personal emails from an email marketing list, and that way it's GDRP compliant.
This one is a good one for product teams. It's called Figma. It's kind of like if you had Google Docs, but it's a way where all of you would work on the same platform at the same time on a product. So for me, being on a shoestring budget, it's been helpful because we've been able to do a lot of like really fast prototypes and show it really fast. And then when we show it to someone, it would basically populate something like this if it's on the mobile version. So a lot of different product teams and UX teams utilize it, really just to get their point across. I know some people write blogs and stuff, so I don't know if they use any of these ones, but there's Unsplash. This is where you can find any type of photo and it's free. So it's been helpful. You can basically find any photo. This one's helpful if you're writing blogs or articles, because then you can get it pretty fast. This goes hand in hand with that as well. If you're creating a website, this one's called the Noun Project. This one is where you can get free icons and stuff if you're setting up any of those digital tools, because everything's already. Gong is awesome for any of your sales teams because you could listen to the calls, and it really just helps you to be able to train better and to learn what the client is actually saying. So I use Gong not to really listen to my team, but to just jump to what the client said and then really understand what are their biggest pain points so we can solve it. When you do grow your sales team, just like what some other people were talking about, one tool that we utilize a lot is Salesloft. It's similar to Outreach. So this one would basically track how many times someone opens an email that I send to them. And it helps because then you would know, are they getting engaged? If they are, then you could cold call them and talk to them more. If any of you guys do like events, whether it's in person or not, this is one I use for church, but it still works for this as well. This is called Slido. This one's great because you could basically use it for like thousands of people, but you would be able to set up like anonymous polls just to kind of gauge what the audience is feeling and not. Other sales tool that I forgot to show is Repvue. In case you're trying to steal a top salesperson, here's the market data that shows all of them hitting their quota versus what they're actually making for their base. Right now, for most of the SaaS companies, you're looking at about 40% of sales teams hitting their quota.
I spent thousands of dollars on a database, and it was a pretty scary purchase actually, because I didn't know if it was real, credible. Besides angel investors and venture capital, there are family offices, and I'd never even heard of them until about 3 or 4 years ago. So here's a database of Africa investors in emerging markets, angel investor database, Asia family offices, cannabis, Canadian. And I'm like, okay, this looks really interesting. You know, if you have an accurate list of who's investing in all of these different areas, technology investor databases, that looks really interesting. And then venture capital. And so I did buy this data set. So then the question is, how good is that data? And as some of you have said, you can't bulk mail a group of emails that you purchase. I mean, that would not be CAN spam compliant or GDPR. And so our internal tech team built a mail merge personalized email tool. And so I can open up a list, let's say a multifamily office list, and I can write a template like this, hi Robert, and then I actually have to click send one at a time in my V. So if I wanted to send a personalized email to 100 of those investors, we set up a template and then we click send one at a time, because bulk email is not CAN spam compliant, but email that you have to click to send each one is CAN-SPAM compliant as far as I know. Actually had quite a few interactions, gotten a lot of people on the calendar, and some of the $2 million that we've raised in the past 6 months has come from this outreach to the family offices, the angel list, and the venture list. And we have 27 funds queued up for our Series A round that mostly came from this list as well.